Welcome to Critical Hit, a Major Spoilers podcast. Thank you so much for downloading and checking us out this week. Kind of had an interesting break there last time, Rodrigo.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're all super excited to see what happens next. Our spirits are high.
I think you mean the opposite of that.
What? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all still alive.
We are.
We didn't have to. We didn't have to take a week to.
Named NPCs died. That's always rough.
And at least 2 named NPCs died as well.
Probably a bunch.
Yeah.
At least a dozen.
It's like that's a lot. And I mean, we can argue all you want about what measure an NPC. We specifically brought one of those people along for important sheep-related purposes or something, and I'm just like, oh, I'm heartbroken. But
That part's all on me.
we'll move on.
Yeah, way to go, Ket. Anyway, Rodrigo, what happens next?
Well, that's kind of up to you guys. So, you guys are walking through this island that you find yourselves in. Towards the center of it, there's a large dome. That's where you guys were heading, right?
Correct. And there's no people around still, correct?
There is no people around. But as you walk closer to the center of town, you kind of start to notice something, which is that there's these stones, and they're probably about chest height. And at first, they probably appear to be markers, like you'll walk by a building, and it'll have a stone next to it. And these stones are like kind of oval shaped, kind of like, so imagine that somebody cut an egg shape out of a stone, right? They're not a full 3D egg. It's just kind of that like roundy teardrop sort of shape.
Right.
Like a Snickers egg, if you've ever had one of them.
Yeah. Something like that. So you encounter one, then later on you encounter another, but as you get to the center of time, you start to see more and more of them, and also start to find them in sort of clumps. So there'll be like 5 or 6 next to each other, and it's also difficult to ascertain what exactly their purpose is.
Like, is there some of them crossing the street with young little round stones trailing behind them, and some round stones at a cafe kind of thing, or?
I mean, yeah, sort of.
All right. Orm's gonna.
You don't see like you don't see one crossing the street with progressively smaller ones behind it, and then a dog-shaped one.
Okay.
Are there like 4 in a row, and one stone is wearing no shoes as they cross the street?
Yeah.
That's a problem.
So Orm's going to stop and is going to do, I guess, a Arcana check.
Yeah.
To see if I can detect any kind of weirdness with these stones, because typically you don't see stones just lying about like this, or standing erect, I guess is what these things are doing. And that warrants a little bit of some magical investigations. And maybe some nature-y investigations. I rolled a 32.
Speaking of nature-y investigations, spurred on by Orm's clear interest, Sakara is kind of nature-y about things.
Okay.
Maybe he wants to divine the nature of the nature of the nature.
Go ahead and roll it.
Okay. I got a 36.
Okay. Well, your panel of experts determines these to appear to be perfectly mundane stones.
Do they look like natural? Oh, I guess this would be a naturals question, but do they look to be naturally formed, or do they look like someone has spent the time chiseling these things?
So they, very likely because of the shape of them, they do appear to have been carved out. But they are very worn. So it's very difficult to tell what exactly the original intent was, because these are all very thoroughly eroded. You see maybe faint traces of sigils, or maybe something that appears to be a character of some kind on them, but they're also appear to be so wind worn and eroded that it's really difficult to tell. But these clearly didn't sprout from the ground. In fact, if Sakar and maybe Sakar on one side and two other people on another side were to try to lift these up, you actually could move them.
But not Sakar alone, is what you're saying.
Sakar alone probably could do it on a good roll, and on a bad roll, he'd probably be feeling it on his lower back.
Oh, no. Okay. Throw his back out. Okay.
Yeah.
So do these look like they could be, obviously the closer we get to the center of town, the more there appear to be?
Yeah.
All right.
What type of stone were they? Were they like a sandstone or something different?
Yeah, this is like a grayish granite type stone, which does not necessarily match the masonry. The masonry is actually very impressive and does not seem as worn as these stones. There is a real clear care and thought in the design of the city, both the individual buildings and how each building relates to the buildings that are within view of it. There are times when you cross the street and you can see basically a Masonic light motif in the, I guess it would just be a motif in the stones. And then there are times where there are like sharp changes to denote, basically different neighborhoods. But even then, it's not a jarring transition. Sometimes you're downtown in a city, and it'll be like a big rectangular stone building, and then next to it is like a weird wobbly glass building, and then next to it is like somebody's house.
You've been to Topeka?
I have been to Topeka.
Oh, it's terrible.
One more question. As we get closer to the center of town, do the stones look older the further in that we progress, or more worn the further in that we progress?
They'll look about the same.
Okay.
Do we know exactly how long it's been, cosmologically speaking, since the Treaty of Worms was ratified and all these gods went to sleep?
It has been all of recorded history.
So, forever.
Long time.
Okay, so it's not like a matter of centuries or something that we would have learned about in our Eldrin history classes or something. It's just, it is, and that's what it is.
Well, it's interesting because the history of the universe actually comes from the Eldrin religious texts.
Right, and vodka was created by a little old lady.
Well, in the Feywild, maybe. But she eats your soul in return for a pint.
Like you do. I'm with you.
Just with mundane perception, is it like, can I tell if there's anyone that's been around here in any even beginning of recent? Like, are there any tracks or?
Yeah, go ahead and roll.
Cool.
Smart.
Well, I don't have these fancy magics. Got to make do with my normal eyeballs. 24.
Yeah, you don't really see anything. Really, the most interesting you find is, the odd, like you're in, a mile into town, and you're still finding chunks of a ship.
Great.
Oh. Why would you rub that in?
So these buildings, does it look like are there shops?
Yep, some of them are shops.
Like if we went in, if Orm went into one of those shops, like what would he find in like a shop that looks like maybe it would be a bakery?
Well, Orm clearly locates one that is meant to be a bakery, as the masonry around it is scored with sigils that suggest, bread with steam rising from it and things like that, but nothing so direct as actually like a carving of a loaf of bread.
Sure.
But by looking at it, you can tell that's what they're getting at. Also, everything has like signs in Dwarven or Dwarvish.
Do any of us read Dwarvish?
I think Ket does, right?
No.
I don't think so.
Oh.
I think we settled on nobody actually
Oh, right.
speaks Dwarvish.
Right. Which is why we brought along Barrett.
Yeah.
So if Orem walks into this place, he finds a counter, maybe a bench on one side, and if he walks past the counter, he can go to a place where there is like a big like brick oven set up.
Cold?
Yep, cold. Big iron door.
Mm-hmm. Dust everywhere or no dust?
Yeah, some dust.
But no signs of activity.
Yeah, no signs of life whatsoever.
Okay. So
Are there stones inside the shops?
There's not a stone inside the bakery, but you do spot some stores or some random buildings that do have stones inside them.
This is puzzling.
It's unsettling is what it is.
Yeah, every once in a while there is a breeze, and you can hear the wind blowing through the empty buildings and against the stones. It just kind of, blows a lot of dust around.
Maybe just the island came back, but none of the denizens did.
Well, I was kind of hoping that they were all hiding because of our antics.
That was my expectation as well when I started seeing the stones, but...
Yeah,
and we might have to go
Can I try
below.
praying to Ulridan? Or no, it's not Ulridan, is it?
It is Ulridan.
Oh, okay.
I mean, if you're talking about the guy who lives here, or he's supposed to live
Yes.
here.
I got it
the
right.
guy whose place we're in.
Yeah. Well, how do you pray to him?
So, prayer for Ulridan. Is there any building that looks like a smithy? Ulridan, great smith warrior of the dwarves, creator of weapons, we wish to see you. Wish for an audience. And, yeah.
Okay. What language do you pray in?
Oh.
I have one that is actually appropriate. Give me just a sec. Primordial, the language of the elements.
Interesting.
I understand that.
You don't really get a response right away.
maybe you have to say your prayer to the beat of the rhythm of a hammer on an anvil. Maybe that will get his attention.
Do any of us have a decent religion?
My religion is actually indecent. No. Well, define decent.
I mean, mine's an 18.
Mine's an 18 too, so.
Yeah, mine's a 14, so not it.
Yeah, I'm with you.
What do you got there, Randus?
Yeah, it is an
31.
int skill.
31?
30
All
what?
right. Pray, smart guy, pray.
Well, okay. So, why don't you give me a religion roll,
Okay.
Ryan?
37.
Well, that's pretty good. Definitely good enough to identify a couple of things. First off,
Basically
judging
asking-
from this place and the description of the place and maybe even the race and job and nature of this god, what would you say his likely alignment is?
lawful, neutral, maybe.
Yeah,
Somewhere in the
lawful
lawful.
definitely makes sense. Which means talking to him in primordial is probably not a good idea.
That's fairly chaotic.
Yeah, that tends to be kind of more of an elemental chaos thing. Supernal might work. The other thing is that, I mean, you can clearly tell that something's wrong. So, under normal circumstances, it is probably pretty difficult to get a god to respond to you through prayer. And if for some reason something has gone wrong, it is much more likely that they will not respond.
Makes sense. Yeah, I think we're just gonna have to find them. I I mean, again, I hate to kind of be stereotypical, but I think we might have to try to find a way downwards if we're looking for dwarves.
Mhm.
Or inwards in the mountains.
Well, definitely we need to make it to that dome first
Yeah.
and see what's there, because that looks to be the big center of everything.
Yeah, I say let's make our way there, see what we can find.
So we shall continue traveling.
Continue trudging along with our heavy thoughts.
And our upbeat demeanors.
Yep. Well, you guys walk for a good long while and finally get to the area where the dome sits. It is, in fact, enormous. You could see it from very far away. So it just completely dwarfs everything else around it.
No pun intended.
Yeah, blocks the horizon. It's just kind of a big giant feature here in the center of town. The number of stones, the number of standing stones, continues to increase to the point where once you get here, there are just thousands of them. But this is a very large square that the dome is located in, so you can still move around. The dome has some runes on it, running along the bottom, but is otherwise pretty much smooth. There's not a lot of filigree or carvings on the stones that form the dome. As you look around, you don't see a clear door, but after some looking, you see that kind of the edge of the square where the dome is had some sort of small, kind of like small hut-like structures, except they're made out of stone, kind of like big stone sheds. And upon some thought and inspection, you realize that they probably contain stairs that lead down. And they seem to be the only way to continue moving towards the dome that's going to give you any sort of entry to it.
Let's see.
So this might be a silly question, but I don't know much about dwarves. Is it? I mean, I saw those Ulridan assassins turn into plants when they died. Is it possible dwarves turn into rocks?
I mean, maybe.
Would we know that?
I'm assuming at least one of us has seen a dwarf die.
Yeah, Randus knows for a fact that dwarves don't turn into rocks. At least they didn't used to.
Not in this game.
Yep, not in this game.
Well,
Also, dwarves can be out in the sunlight and stuff.
No.
So that's not an issue.
Wait, are we talking dwarves or are we talking vampires? Because
I was talking gargoyles, but
that's true.
Well, hey, listen, before we go down into this, this place, should we maybe stay up here and take a rest? I mean, we've been walking a long time. We've gone through a lot, and
that's not a bad idea.
Some of our abilities may not be up to full power, and I would hate to get in a situation where we suddenly find ourselves with no extended rests.
I'm not sure this is the place to...
I mean, we can just pick any of these many abandoned homes.
We can still call upon the shelter as well, can't we?
Oh, sure. I'm just saying, before we venture further,
Right.
it might be a good idea for us to rest and recuperate so that we have our strength back before we start poking around and suddenly wind up confronted with more or even worse versions of the thing that destroyed our ship. I mean, beyond us. I mean, you know what I'm saying.
I would be more comfortable if we found a place to set up the mystical shelter that we've been using, rather than inhabiting one of these existing buildings.
I will point out the shelter takes up magical materials, which you guys
are low
short
on.
on.
I'd be fine with just taking one of those buildings. No one else seems to be using them.
He'll rake up his rocks.
Oh, yeah, maybe. So what do you guys want to do?
Won't wake up.
What?
You don't go to sleep. You can't wake up.
That's right.
What?
I would vote for find a accommodating building.
I'm down for that.
I suppose.
Okay, let us go take a rest.
Well, you guys have your pick. What exactly are you looking for in a building?
Looking
One
for a
that
nice
has
ranch
5
house, maybe with
sigils on the
2 stories.
outside that look like stars.
Yeah, something with beds.
Nice. Yeah, something that looks like it's either like a multifamily home or a large family home or an inn.
Yeah, you can find something that, especially down here, the buildings get a lot bigger and fancier. So you can find like a, maybe 10-bedroom house,
Oh my.
Nice.
just kind of a 2 stories and a
Epilogue.
attic and probably a basement. So
I'm sorry.
something.
Oh, an epilogue?
Sorry. He said 2 stories.
I see.
All right, let's raid
You
the
don't-
house.
You don't get to womp me for the rest of the day, dude.
That was great.
So we go inside one of these buildings.
Yep.
Again.
It's kind of a big metal door that you guys can just move. It's not locked.
So as we're looking around in this building, does it look like everything is neat and put away, or does it look like something happened in the middle of daily activities in this building, or what?
Well, there's really no stuff around. There is no furniture except for any stone furniture that's built into the wall, which is some of the furniture, right? You can find a large dining room, for example, and the table for the dining room just is carved right out of the wall, right? So it's just a big slab of stone that comes out of the wall. But there are no chairs. Same thing with if you look around upstairs with the beds. Actually, there's like big bed-sized chunks of or slabs of stone that maybe would have had some sort of cushioning on top, but there's kind of like, as it is now, they kind of look like kind of like a burial or they look like the base for a pyre.
Mm.
So that's a little creepy.
That's super creepy.
And if we look in cupboards, I mean, are there cupboards in this place or no?
There are places for cupboards to go into, basically pieces of the wall that are hollowed out and would probably accommodate cupboards, but there are no cupboards proper. There's nothing wooden in here. There's a few sort of metal things. The doors are made of metal. There's like...
Is the metal of the sort that would have like rusted or corroded over time, or is it?
Yep. I mean, all definitely. It's not like it's not like stainless steel or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a thoroughly worked iron, maybe an alloy of some kind.
All right. So it's not like any wood has rotted because of time.
Definitely not because of a normal passage of time. Certainly both the walls and the stone, or the walls and the metal would show that a lot more, as well as things like moss growth and things like that.
Weird.
Okay, well, we should probably take some shifts and get a rest.
Oh.
What time of day is it, Rodrigo?
At this point, it's evening.
Okay. I will volunteer for the first watch.
I can take second.
I'll take the last.
Okay. Everybody get some rest, and we'll start fresh in the morning.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, those of you that are not taking the first shift, where are you guys going to sleep?
I'm just gonna find one of the rooms. Even if it's all stone, I'll just I don't know. I guess we don't have any bedrolls or anything like that, probably because of.
I don't see why you wouldn't.
Oh, fair enough. I guess we still have our adventurer packs.
Yeah, you have that stuff on you, so
Okay,
yeah, you
so
got
yeah.
like rope and adventurer pack and like those like glow stick
Pythons.
tubes,
Sun rods.
sun rods. That's what it is.
Cool. Then I'll just pick a room and spread out my bedroll.
Yeah.
So you guys each kind of pick out your own room.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I don't want to venture
And-
too far back, so
Say what?
I don't want to venture too far back into the. I mean, it is a large, so I try and stay near whichever room we're keeping the watches in.
Well, that
But, yeah.
depends. What is Orem doing?
So
during
on the
his
main,
watch?
so on the main floor, how many doors are there? Just the main front door?
So there's a main front door, and then sort of shotgun all the way across a hallway. There is a back door.
Okay, then I will position.
And then there's entryways into the rooms,
Sure.
but no other doors in the main floor.
Okay, I will position myself on the floor, midway between the two doors, so I can keep an eye on both. And I'll sit on the floor cross-legged and enter my meditative state,
Okay.
all the while keeping my Ulridan senses active.
Okay. So it looks like Orem's going to keep watch in the first floor,
Yes, in
not
the
too
first
far
floor,
from the
yeah.
entryway. So
Right.
is the car going to like park himself in the dining room?
That's probably going to be the best. Yeah,
You probably sleep
Okay.
on the table.
it's always an option.
Oh yeah, with like his hands across his chest.
Yeah.
Really?
Can he sleep dangling
Of
from
course.
the rafters?
Really? Actually,
Maybe-
I might have hands across my chest because I'm going to have my swords in each hand. So I'm going to be lying there
Yeah.
with the swords crossed across my chest. And if anybody comes in, I'm going to go blah, blah.
And you ate a ketchup sandwich before you went to bed, and there's a little trickle in the corner of your mouth.
Really?
A ketchup sandwich.
I mean,
A ketchup sandwich.
we lost a lot of stuff in that wreck. Ketchup sandwich is probably
you've
a
been
feast,
Spending too much time with your kids.
perhaps.
All right. So why don't you give me a perception check for Orem?
I will do that. Oh, fail.
Ugh.
All right. That is a botch. Orem's watch goes on uneventfully.
Whew.
As far as Orem is aware.
Yeah, of course. So Orem does his meditation. Nothing, approaches or seems to come in or out or anything.
All right.
And then it gets to be time to wake up Little Sparkle, right? She has a second shift.
Yes. I go to her room, knock on the door.
Okay.
Little Sparkle.
Clang, clang, clang.
Yeah, I'm up.
It is time for your
Okay.
shift.
Be right there.
Okay.
All right. What does Little Sparkle do for her shift?
Oh, I'll move to the. Is there a window from the entryway?
Yeah, there's above the entryway there is in the top rooms there's actually kind of a hallway that then goes out into a T and is like a little bit of a balcony, but not too much.
Right.
So you can actually get some height on it. Once you get there, you realize that there's actually no glass. There should be, but there isn't. So it's kind of just open.
Yeah, I'll just park myself on the balcony then and try to watch out over the abandoned city.
Okay. Why don't you give me a perception check?
32.
Okay. You notice all the goblins Orem didn't catch.
Oh.
No. All right. Little Sparkle shift Goes on uneventfully.
I'll go poke Randus then.
Yeah. I'm up.
Nothing to report.
Okay. I'll keep an eye out. Get some rest.
Yep, will do.
Okay. All right.
All right. What does Randus do during his shift?
Kind of just without wandering too far, just kind of make a circuit and a patrol and see if I can see or find anything of interest.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
Okay. 25.
Randus starts out on the second floor, kind of walks around, no big deal. Goes down to the first floor, walks around. Hey, look, there's Sakar sleeping in the dining room. Nothing really going on here. When you look outside, the city seems quiet. And then take the stairs down to what you would presume is the cellar, and then instead find kind of a second living room with what appears to be a big front door.
I'll make a mental note of that, and I think I'll wait for people to wake up before going that way.
Okay.
So I'll kind of wander back and wait for people to awaken.
Hey, what's going on, Randus?
Hey, Orem.
Everything going good?
Yeah, it's going pretty good. I found this other door.
Another door?
Yeah.
I look at the back door, look at the front door. Besides these two?
Yeah.
Huh. Where's it at?
I can show you here.
Okay.
I take him to the door.
Okay. Yep. Downstairs. It's a big living room. There's some stone couches carved out of the wall. And then there's a big front, like what you would imagine is a big front door. It's actually more ornately made than the one upstairs.
Still made of metal?
Still made of metal.
Did you open it?
No, I figured I'd wait until everyone's up and we can maybe venture down.
I peer at the lock. Does it appear to be locked?
Nope, but there's a big, like a bar.
Oh, going across the door?
Yeah. But it's not on.
Oh, okay, so
it would be like a sliding lock kind of thing.
But it's not like locked to prevent somebody coming through.
Yeah, it's not locked right now.
Okay, so
at least not on this side.
The good thing is, if it's not locked, it means there's nothing really to worry about on the other side, potentially.
I suppose.
For the occupants of this house.
Uh-huh.
Oh, maybe they have their treasure in there.
Well, maybe.
Look around this room. Anything beyond stone couches?
Not really. Although you do see that there is, behind the stairs, there's kind of another room.
What?
Which is just a kind of a mid-size empty room.
There's nothing in there.
Nothing.
That's weird. Do you know anything about dwarven architecture, Randus?
Can't say I'm too versed in the subject.
Okay, well, I can understand not wanting to open this door before everyone else wakes up.
Yeah.
I wonder what's behind that door.
Well,
oh, God.
I think we'll find out soon enough.
Yeah, is it... let's go back upstairs and see if everyone's ready to wake up yet or not.
Yeah, let's go see if anyone else...
It's been 27 minutes, dude.
Well, this is the third shift, people.
It is the third shift, so you might get woken up slightly early by some nerds, but you guys are well within your having been well rested period.
Hooray.
Considering this is like the third time we would have walked through the room or something.
Yeah. Do we get action points back?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you are healed up to full. You get all your healing surges back. Your action points reset to 1. So you actually had at least one action point because you hit a milestone at the end of that skill challenge.
Right.
So you still have 1 unless you didn't spend an action point during the combat or the encounter, at which point you would have 2. But at this point, having a full rest, it resets to 1.
Okay.
You get all of your encounter powers back, and you get all of your daily powers back as well.
And our milestones reset to 0.
All your milestones reset to 0. While we're here, would anybody want to declare any modes and or class features?
Yes, I will be
Oh, God.
prepping my fire stuff, and Hex of Madness will be my double daily power.
Okay.
What's your daily double power?
It allows me to use the same power twice.
Oh, nice.
Vestige of Larage and Vestige of King Eladir are the active vestiges?
Okay.
I'm going to go with Fangs and Swords,
Okay.
as is my wont.
Right.
Who wants the floating +2?
Ooh. Ooh.
I will give it to Ket then. I'm
Yay.
chanting his
Stick.
Pants.
His stick.
My stick.
your stick, your staff,
My twig.
your twig. I will enchant that, giving it a floating +2 that he can spend after the roll to gain, a +2 bonus.
Yay.
So
I
we go.
will still miss.
So we go around, make sure everybody's awake,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
then, oh, you guys, guess what Randus found?
Mm.
He found a whole other section of this house that we didn't know about, and there's a door down in the subdwelling. Let's go take a look. Get your stuff. Let's go take a look.
There's
a door in the basement?
Very excited about
It is in the basement.
it. This seems a very big door.
A big door with
That
a big
makes sense.
bar that you can lock it
From our side.
From the inside or the outside?
from our side.
And if the dwarves live partially underground, as most dwarves do,
Mm.
or dwarves do in regions, then
Stands to reason that they might actually have, I don't know, walkways and tunnels and things.
Yeah, maybe like what we're trying to do, get into the big dome area.
Certainly worth checking out.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Come on.
I hope.
All right. So Orem herds you all down the stairs, and there it is. It's a big old door.
Big old door. And it's not locked.
No,
It is
see, the
not
bar
locked.
is not locked.
Does it look super heavy?
No. It's got hinges, so it looks like a good, and the hinges look to be in good working order. So it looks like obviously just tapping it won't open it, but if you make a concerted effort to get it open, it'll open.
I say we open it.
Sakar shall make a concerted effort to open it.
Okay.
Wait,
The,
wait. Let me take a look at it.
Fair enough. This is why we have a rogue.
Let me I check it for traps.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
Nat 20 for a 39.
I'll go with
Okay.
maybe.
Wow, Hook.
it doesn't have
You-
traps anymore.
You find no traps, but you do know that had there been any sort of real shenanigans like pressure plates or contact poison or anything like that on the door, it would have been triggered a long time ago, since you can tell just from the residual floweriness that Orem got right up to this door and possibly put his face on it.
Like looks at Orem.
And Orem kind of looks around. You wouldn't be able to see his eyes darting off to other places because they're just solid globes of color.
What color?
Alright.
Depends on which way you're looking at him, man.
Next time, don't get too close to something you're not sure of.
Right. But I've seen doors before.
Yes, but a lot of doors have traps.
True.
Well, this one doesn't.
Can we open it
No.
now?
Yes, go ahead.
Well, open it.
Okay. Sakar opens the door.
This is a strong
is-
thing, so I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Sakar opens the door. There is a clear pressure differential, which actually blasts a lot of air from the room you're in into the tunnel
Ooh. Okay.
that this door opens into. So there is a big, pretty wide tunnel. But you guys could easily walk 3 across through it. And I will point out that, as you actually went through a full night of shifts, it is now dawn, and the only light that you see here is the light that is coming in from outside the house, down the stairs. The tunnel appears to be completely dark.
Can I see anything with my low light seeing?
Yes, I believe you can see 5 feet farther, or maybe 10 feet farther than anybody who doesn't have low light vision.
So, what is
So,
this?
I
get out
real
of-
quick, let's talk about who has what vision.
Huh.
Does anybody have dark vision?
I can.
Okay. Well, if you do have dark vision, then basically you can see whatever the dark vision says number-wise around you, even in complete darkness.
Find my dark vision. I know there's a way I can do it, but I can't remember if it's related to a power.
I'll look it up. Does anybody have low light vision?
Yes.
Okay. If you have low light vision, then you can basically see farther than somebody who doesn't. Basically sources of light will get you farther out in the radius of things that you can see. If you have neither of them, then, but even with low light vision, like going into this tunnel, you're going to be out of light.
Yeah,
Sure.
I have
Pretty
low
quick.
light vision, so I'll crack a light stick.
Okay.
Yeah. I think everybody but Randus has low light vision from the last time we had this discussion.
Yep. Seems to
I do have to kill somebody
be. Oh,
to have dark vision.
not it.
Okay.
Not it.
So, well, technically I can just bloody someone, but it has to
Not
be
it.
an enemy. It has to be an enemy.
Not
so-
it.
That's
What are you
pretty
implying?
weird. But I guess it makes sense when you get into like the fiddly aspects of low light vision in combat. It actually would present an advantage if you're fighting sneaky guys, that you kill someone and suddenly you can spot people.
Wait, I do have another thing that gives me dark vision. Holy moly. Oh.
Well, I will point out that if it's not something that you can use at will, you might want to save it for a moment when somebody doesn't just have a flashlight.
Right.
Definitely keep
I'm
it
just
in your
like-
pocket, though, in case
spend-
you guys get separated or whatever.
It's the or whatever that makes it funny. Man, I got all sorts of magical stuff. Man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So is one sun rod enough, or do we need to strike a couple?
It is enough for this hallway.
Okay.
So you guys can now see farther down this tunnel. It
Mhm.
is a worked stone. Like it's panels basically leading outward. And as you guys walk out into the tunnel.
Yes.
I think we should.
Okay.
Now, is this real quick? When we open the door, does the tunnel move straight ahead, or does it move left, right?
It goes straight ahead.
Okay.
Does it go on a flat plane or is it angling up or down?
It goes in a flat plane.
And when you say paneling, you're talking like stone paneling, right?
Yep, on the sides
Okay.
and on the ground. So basically, I mean, from where you're standing, it looks like panels. Chances are these are big, like, I don't know, like 8 by 8 by 8 stone bricks
Sure.
that this is made out of.
Sure.
Like a big stone Brady house.
Yeah.
We'll move through. We'll start moving that way.
Okay. You guys move into the tunnel. If you look back at the place where you left, it's got a very nice archway and then a big old door.
Can the door be locked from this side or only the other side?
Only the other side. You can close it. At least it can't be easily locked from this side.
Okay.
Barring magical shenanigans.
Should we knock?
I mean, we're already in the hallway, so it's kind of too late for that.
I guess.
Well, Shikar will try to take point in case something needs stabifying.
I will also draw my weapon.
I'll take a look for traps.
Okay. Well, your 20 will carry you for the hallway, so
Cool.
You don't spot anything problematic.
Seems clear.
Okay.
Nothing seems to need stabifying.
Nope.
We move in.
Okay, so you guys continue down this hallway, and eventually get an intersection. There is a path that leads left, a path that leads right, and then another one that leads straight forward.
Do any of them have evidence of tracks at all?
Nope.
There's no road signs?
There
or
are.
anything?
Can anyone read them?
Nope.
No.
No symbols, though,
Yeah, there's like sigils.
but nothing that we would interpret as loaves of bread or
Right. Nothing.
throne room or treasury.
Right. Yeah, there's no like etching of an adventure with like a bear trap and like a bunch of spikes falling on them.
Because that would be helpful.
Yeah.
Can we tell? So based on the orientation of the house and the basement and the door, from what we remember outside in relation to the giant dome,
Mm-hmm.
and since you said this was a straight hallway that we were following, can we tell which direction would lead us towards that dome?
Yeah. You guys are not moving directly towards it in this hallway, but you're moving roughly towards it down this hallway.
So if we continued on this way, we would get closer and closer towards that.
Right. If you went left, you would be no longer moving in its direction. If you went right, you would be sort of moving in its direction. But the most direct way to move towards it would be to continue going straight.
Okay.
I just indicate maybe straight would be the best way to go, because I think that would be the direction towards the...
Whatever
towards
gets us
the
to the
dome.
dome quickest.
Yes. Who has a high
That's
dungeoneering?
Reasonable.
I know
Okay.
Randus has a dungeoneering.
Mine is only 12.
I say Randus's will be
checking what it
ridiculous
was.
because it is int-based.
Yep.
24?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Is it?
It's not
is.
that ridiculous.
That's not ridiculous compared to most of the rest of his, but that's
Yeah,
where
it's
my
'cause
good
his,
skills sit.
His Epic Destiny doesn't buff everything that's int based. It just buffs like I
A
think
weird
3 or
selection.
4
Yeah.
skills specifically.
No,
Yeah,
Dungeoneering's
well, I have
wisdom
one
based.
thing that's a 24 anywhere on my sheet skills, so that's ridiculous.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I said Dungeoneering's also wisdom and not int. I was wrong.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, I have a pretty decent dungeoneering. Look at that. Who
What is
knew?
it?
15.
So, what do you
I didn't say
guys
it
do?
was great.
That's what mine is.
What do you think, Randus, as I point in the direction?
Well,
Does that seem right?
sounds like a reasonable idea to me. Yeah, we'll try to steer towards the dome.
All right, we'll
Okay.
continue that direction.
So you guys continue down that hallway,
Oh,
and
hey, wait!
eventually,
Before we head down that way, I'm gonna get a little stone or something from my bag and make a mark on the wall.
yeah, you probably got some chalk.
Yeah, I get some chalk out and I make a mark on the hallway entrance that we came from.
Spread some breadcrumbs.
Well,
Tiny
I mean,
ampersands.
there could be some birds or something that come along and eat the breadcrumbs, but I think the chalk will do the same thing.
You guys continue in the direction that you were moving, and pretty soon the hallway ends, and you find yourselves on a ledge.
Oh.
The ledge is itself a path that moves perpendicularly and slopes downward along this wall that this hallway is carved into. Your light source is strong enough to show you that you have just entered an enormous chamber, like massive. Like that house that you were in, you could fit 1,000 of those houses in this area.
Uh-huh. So is it clear that we're inside the dome?
No.
Okay.
But we're in some sort of chamber.
What is it?
You
What
are
is in
in-
this chamber?
As far as you can see, walls. The path that you're on does continue along the wall and seems to slope down gently.
But if we look over the ledge, we don't see anything.
You don't have enough light to really see
okay.
too far past it. You can tell that the ledge goes down pretty far.
Okay.
You know, if nobody's using their light rod, what are they called?
Sunrods.
Sunrods.
Sunrod. I always forget. If nobody's using their sunrod, you can throw it down and see how far it goes.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll crack a sunrod and toss it off the edge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chucking sunrod.
It falls for a good long while, but when it hits down there, you see that it basically hit the top of a building.
Oh.
Oh, now you're littering, Orem.
I mean, I'll pick it back up. Maybe. Do we go down?
Can we go down?
Do we see an up?
Well, I mean, there's always back.
That's true.
Who's on first?
If
If we continue down the ledge towards the thing, it would be towards the building, yes?
Towards the bottom.
It does slope down. It doesn't, like, if you want, like, the most direct way to where you believe the dome to have been is, like, off the ledge. Like, you know, if you draw a straight line for where you guys are, there's no path that leads you there. You can follow this path, which does slope down, but doesn't take you in necessarily the right direction, at least not right away. It seems to follow the walls to this chamber.
Sure. I say we go down.
Okay.
Yeah, but I say we follow the path as opposed to trying to go straight down, which seems dangerous.
Correct. Plus, judging from the distance from the sunrod, I don't think we have a rope long enough.
We'll just fly down.
Sure.
All right.
We'll follow that path down.
All right, so you guys follow the path down. As you continue walking, your sunrod reveals huge stalactites coming down right from the ceiling.
Mm-hmm. Stalactites stick tight to the ceiling. Stalagmites might frickin' kill you.
Right. And pretty soon you run into a couple of more hallways leading away from this chamber along the wall. And if you continue down the path, it continues to slope down a little bit sharper now. In fact, sometimes it turns into stairs and goes down a good flight before becoming a path again. Also, as you get farther down and closer to some of them, you realize that those enormous stalactites are actually buildings. They're just upside down buildings hanging from the ceiling.
Oh, wow.
That's nifty.
Any light?
Nope, there's no light coming from them.
It's very space efficient.
I suppose.
Is there reason for us to suspect and or know, and I feel like I should totally know this in a D&D setting, that the people who probably lived here also probably didn't need light?
Yep. they
Okay.
they certainly don't need as much light as you know.
Randus.
Like
As
if humans
Randus?
are the
Randus.
baseline, and humans are always making themselves the baseline, the bastards. If humans are the baseline, then dwarves require a lot less light than humans do. They still require some because they can't see. Like Sakar himself has dark vision, and he knows that it only extends past a certain point, and then it's a wall of darkness. So it's
Right.
kind of like having a limited radar more than anything, more than actually being able to see.
Right.
So
Okay.
you would. It's like it seems unlikely that it would be such an enormous habitable place and have no light if there were people around.
Mm.
Unless the 100,000 people that would live in this area are all hiding under their rock beds and waiting for you guys to go away.
Possible.
It's plausible.
Wouldn't be the
Yeah.
first time.
Well, since 1.75 of us are still human, we should see if... Shut up.
Yeah, that seems high.
It does.
Hmm.
Well, let's see. Half a Sakar. Ket's half elf.
I
Three
think
quarters
that's
of
it.
Randus.
We're not entirely certain what Randus is at this point.
Well, part of him was. We'll give him. Okay. Nonetheless, does there seem to be any indication of a larger scale way to make light?
A larger scale way to make light.
A light
There
switch or something?
really-
Light
so
thing.
there are places where torches might go, but there are no torches. So there are big metal torch holder things,
Mhm.
but there are no torches. So it's really more of a, do you have a way to make more light, more than anything that the environment really seems to present, because there really isn't.
When we were previously in the southern continent, and Sakar communed with the little salamanders,
Mm-hmm.
did they glow visibly?
They might have. I don't really recall if they were just kind of in the spiritual plane or if they actually manifested.
Sometimes spirits glow.
Mm-hmm.
That's a law. I read that somewhere.
Yeah, that's.
I will actually see if perhaps there's anything that I can commune with here that might glow and give us some additional light above and beyond 5 sun rods.
Okay. So what does the card do to do that?
Oh, boy. That sounds an awful lot like another nature check, doesn't it?
Well, yes, but I mean that
How? How does it
what's the
look?
card do to do that?
What's
What's
the
the
flavor
flavor?
text?
All right, so we're on a ledge.
Mhm.
It's a ledge made of stone.
Mhm.
Sakar places his palms on the stone.
Okay.
Sakar
On the floor, on the
tries
wall,
very
or
hard.
on the ledge?
The wall.
Okay.
Sakar closes his eyes and starts to glow. That's
Okay.
flavor text. It doesn't actually glow for glowing.
Sure. Go ahead and give me a nature check.
Yeah. 26.
It's good enough. Sakar puts his hands on the wall. He glows a little bit, and then the glow dies down. At which point, this stem comes out from the seam of the wall, basically where 2 pieces of stone meet.
Mm-hmm.
And a little mushroom blooms out of it, and it lights up with kind of a white greenish light, and then a handful more appear sort of in a rough circle around Sakar.
When you say in a circle around Sakar, are they stuck to the stone?
Yep,
Or do
they seem
move
to be
if Sakar
stationary.
moves? But it does seem to help.
It does. It provides kind of more steady light in your immediate surroundings.
Mhm.
You might be able to direct it, so you might be able to be like, over there, if there's something in particular that you want to light up.
Over there. I point to Orem.
Orem is suddenly surrounded by little glowing mushrooms,
Oh.
which
Hello.
may be very unsettling given Fey history with circles of mushrooms.
Yes, exactly. Hello. What is this?
It may be a solution to our illumination issues.
Yeah, by the way, it's like really obvious where Orem is right now. Like, you guys could probably see him from way up top where you guys came in now.
Over there, away from Orem.
Okay.
Slightly further down the path.
Okay. Well, you can basically, as long as you give them time to grow out, because it's not immediate, you can basically create little spots of light, and you will be able to do it for the remainder of the scene. So if there's something in particular that you want to do with them, you can.
As we travel, do the ones behind us disappear? Are we regrowing the same few?
They don't disappear. They just kind of dim down.
Okay. All right. Now we can continue.
Well, I think we're going to continue this next week. I know, right?
Next week's episode will be called Stay Close, There's Not Much Room.
Boo.
Steven can't womp me in this episode.
No, but I can say that Matthew is a real fun guy, and we will see everyone next week on Critical Hits. And until then, here's hoping all of your dice rolls are critical hits.
This podcast is copyright 2018 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC.